everybody. Thanks for joining me as we take a look at your working forecast for January 31st through February 4th. And the weather continues to be very active as we kind of move on from last weekend's storm, which was pretty much a dud for us. It pulled a little further east than I think I was thinking, certainly. And so we ended up on the very back fringe. And like I talked about with those tight snow gradients, those moved more towards like central Massachusetts, central New Hampshire, and we were on the very back edge here with just most of us just seeing a light inch or so. I got about an inch at my house. A lot of places, a little bit more down in some across southeastern Windham County, but even there, just a couple inches basically. So pretty much a strikeout for us on that, except for the cold, and it did snow a lot of the, especially early part of the day, but just so light that it wasn't really able to accumulate. However, this week we definitely have a storm, which I think will definitely bring us precipitation, but the details this week are going to be: do we end up with snow, or do we end up with freezing rain? Do we end up with sleet? Do we end up with rain? And those details are not quite there yet because the storm's coming later in the week. But here's the setup. You can see we've cleared. Our storm is way gone now from Saturday, and today looks like a pretty sunny day for the most part here, as we're kind of under high pressure, cold high pressure today. Although we'll warm up some from our really frigid start to the day here. I was 13 below zero at my house this morning, but our next storm is starting to take shape already. Here's really the main piece of energy, although this weak low pressure area, which is kind of going to die for the most part, but it is already starting to prime the pump by giving us ample Gulf moisture, which is what this storm is going to bring. This storm is going to be more of an inland storm. It's going to kind of ride up just on the western side of the Appalachian Mountains and then perhaps transfer its energy a bit offshore. And exactly how that happens, exactly where that sets up this battleground between what will be a low pressure system that forms about where this one is now and a high pressure system up across Canada will determine what kind of snow or what kind of precipitation, I should say, we get on Thursday into Friday. So let's take a look at the setup. So here by Wednesday, here's our new storm forming. Like I said, that other storm is sort of dying and actually kind of riding up along this front. To our west, actually, we could kind of already have some overrunning precipitation running up through the Great Lakes by Wednesday. But you can see we're just pumping Gulf moisture in across the southeastern United States. We're also warming our temperatures up. So by Tuesday, tomorrow, and then particularly on Wednesday, we'll be warm here. First day above freezing for most of us on Wednesday that we've had since the beginning of January. So it's been like 3 weeks here, essentially below freezing. But that'll change on Wednesday, I think, for basically everybody. Maybe not the highest elevations, but everybody else. But we do have this high pressure area. Originally, it kind of looked like the storm was going to go well west of us. This is out 4 or 5 days ago when the storm first started showing up in the models. But what's happening here is this high pressure system, and there's a lot of cold air in central Canada, is going to kind of move east with it. And the battleground, the cold air is going to try to sink down underneath as this warm moisture moves over the top, and that's a really good setup for significant areas of, first of all, heavy precipitation. That's a really good setup for a lot of heavy precipitation. It's also a good setup for mixed precipitation. Tomorrow I'll have a video out that kind of explains why it mixes in circumstances like that, but essentially it gives an opportunity for sleet and freezing rain to happen. And figuring out exactly where that's going to happen is, we're not quite there yet. But here's kind of a initial thought of what might be kind of going on, essentially. So by Thursday night, let me move out of the way so you can read the whole thing. Thursday night, we've got, again, the low pressure system here kind of over eastern Kentucky, and the high pressure system north of the Great Lakes. The high pressure system, the air comes around from the north, essentially, for us here in Vermont. The low pressure is pushing air in from the south and the east. And the clash zone right here is where all the interesting stuff happens. To the south of this, we're going to have some rain. I think where everybody got big snow totals last week, they're going to probably see rain out of this, at least to start. And then northern Vermont, I think, is pretty safe to say what they get will probably be snow. But then there'll be a tight gradient here that kind of, as this battleground does not seem to move too much. It may move some, so we may start as freezing rain and sleet, and then eventually transition to snow. There's definitely a chance that in this area somewhere in the interior northeast, and actually down through the Appalachians as well, that some area sees a significant period of time where they see icing, which is probably what I'm most concerned about. I don't think we're anywhere close to knowing if that's actually going to happen or not yet, but we definitely have the potential for it, and icing events can be some of the most impactful weather in terms of power outages and in terms of travel. So those are on the table, although they're definitely not a guarantee. There'll also be an area of pretty heavy snow, it looks like, on the north side of this, and sleet. So I think we'll be in one of those areas. I think we'll either be getting some pretty good snow totals out of this across southern Vermont, we'll either or some pretty good sleet or in the icing area. I don't think we'll be just plain rain in most locations. And the further south you are, the more likely you are probably to see the icing. The further north you are, excuse me, the more likely you are to see the snow. So, but we'll have to work out the details, and really it's too far out to know for sure. But I want you to be aware because you should be prepared that we could see an impactful event on Thursday and Friday. Travel will probably be tough both days as well. Let's take a look at the details we've got to work with. Storm's going to have ample moisture, all that Gulf moisture, tons of moisture to work with. The storm is, the setup is favorable for significant icing somewhere in the interior northeast. There could be significant area of sleet as well. Valley locations are more likely to see ice. This is one of those in-place times when the ice tends, the cold air sometimes filters down the valleys, especially when it's pushed from the north. So a place like Bennington would certainly be, and kind of the Champlain Valley in that regard would be a potential issue there, and also certainly down, sometimes down the Connecticut River Valley there, sometimes too. The cold air can kind of seep down in those valleys, so sometimes not as much at elevation. We'll have to see though; those details, like I said, too far out to know. On the northern edge of the precipitation, significant snow is possible, and by significant I mean more than 6 inches, maybe a lot more than 6 inches. And there are lots of details to work out with this storm. So let's take a look at your forecast just to kind of give you an idea of what the week's going to do. Cold today, sunny. Today's the sunniest day of the week. 22 for a high. We do recover pretty good after starting off 10 to 15 below zero for most of us this morning. Tomorrow, we're a little bit warmer. We're up in the upper 20s, and sun in the morning, probably clouds by afternoon as our storm starts. Some of that overrunning from the first initial storm that's going to die is heading in our direction. Wednesday's a cloudy day. It's definitely the warmest day we've had in a while. A lot of us will be in the upper 30s, may even touch 40 in some places. Wouldn't be at all surprised to see Brattleboro, Bellows Falls, hit 40, a place like Bennington certainly as well, Manchester, places like that to get to 40. Even here in like mountain valleys, I wouldn't be surprised to be close to 40 for most of us. Then the mix and the mess comes. And it probably starts sometime Thursday during the day, maybe midday, but timing on that's a little early to tell still. And we probably, the most likely scenario is that we start on the either maybe just above freezing and even start as just some plain rain that transitions to ice, and then maybe to sleet and some snow to end. That's probably the most likely transition, but definitely we could see a whole mix of stuff here. This could be mostly snow, it could be mostly freezing rain, we'll have to see. Then Friday's an upside down day as we're cooling off, as that cold air from Canada really moves in on Friday as our precipitation comes to an end, probably sometime Friday morning. In terms of your outdoor activities forecast this morning, cold start to the day, but it's a nice bluebird day for the most part, so as long as you bundle up, it's a good day to be out there to ski today. Tuesday, warmer with clouds in the afternoon, a good ski day. Wednesday, let me move over here so we can actually see what's going on. Wednesday is the warmest day of the week. Actually, a pretty nice day to get out there and ski. The mountains should be close enough. We shouldn't get mushy or anything like that. Nice day to ski. Thursday and Friday, kind of basically both the wind debris precipitation. We'll have to see what that looks like for outdoor activities. Probably both days are going to be a little tough, unless we end up with mostly snow, and then travel will be tough probably both of those days either way. All right, if you want to make sure that you don't miss any of these videos, of which I'll have them out, I'll have a video out tomorrow as we start to iron out some of these details on the storm, and probably one each day through Thursday, maybe even through Friday. I'll have one out. So there'll basically be a video out all week this week. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, you won't miss any of those. And if you've got any questions, certainly you can also feel free to email me or send me some message through social media. I'm happy to answer those questions to the best of my ability. Thanks for supporting my channel, and thanks to my patrons who support financially what I do here, and especially to my new patrons who've come on board in the last couple of weeks. Really appreciate them for helping out, getting this weather, getting our equipment here really tuned in so that we can get these better graphics and things like that. And also want to say, if you are interested in becoming a patron, there's a link in the description below that tells you how you can do that. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow, probably sometime late morning, I would think, probably with my forecast. I want to be able to get some good graphics and things like that out to you. So probably late morning tomorrow, maybe early afternoon. All right, and we'll be back.